Hello everyone, welcome back to JDCodebase. This is the web development series. In the previous videos, we learn about the Node.js and how to create an HTTP server, and then we also start working with the Express.js. Now, today we are going to learn something very important when building the APIs, and that is the request data handling in the Express.js. In simple words, if I say today we are learn how a server receives the data from the client, from the browser, from the application. Because when we build real application, the client always sends some data to the server. For example, a login form data means a username, password, a register form data, search feature, updating the user profile also. All of these send data to the server, right? And in Express we can access that data using req.params, req.query, req.body. So today we will understand all three steps by step with the examples. So let's start. Now first let's understand what request data actually means. Whenever a client send a request to the server, sometimes it also send extra information along with the request. That extra information is called the request data. Now, for example, a user ID, for they send a search keyword, a form submission, a login details. So this data can be sent in three different ways: by URL parameters, query parameters, request body. And inside the Express we access them using the request object, which is written as the request.params, request.query, request.body. Now let's understand them one by one. So first we will talk about the request.params, and request.params is used when the data is sent inside the URL path. Like here, if you see localhost 3000 port number, the user is the path, and this 5 is the dynamic data. So it represents the user ID here. And so instead of writing a fixed route, we create a dynamic route like this by using this colon, and Express will store that value inside the request.params. Now let's move to VS Code, and here I have a inbuilt means this Express server. I already installed the Express and Nodemon for the fast development. And so now open the servers.js file, and inside this write const express equal to require express, and here first initialize the app equal to express, and app dot get method. Here first I have to give the path, the user, let's say users, and the dynamic data comes from the colon by using the colon, and by using the ID. And same again the request and response a function, and here first we have to retrieve that ID, const ID equal to request dot params, and here the params dot ID, not single params, and response dot send this user ID is add this ID here. Now start the server by app dot listen and give the port number 3000, and also a arrow function as usual, and console.log server running on port 3000. So let's start the server. Just write the npm run there because I'm using the Nodemon for the fast development. Okay, first I have to move to the that folder. Now run the npm run dev. So now I get the server running on port 3000, and I'll open the postman, and just write this localhost colon 3000, here give the users, and the ID here is the let's say 10, and click send button. Response is 200. Okay, and user ID is the, why it does not give me the user ID? What happened to this? Okay, I have to write here the plus sign, not the comma. Now again press the send button. Now what happened? Okay, ID. These are the small bugs you also face while building. So now I get the user ID is 10. So just use this means request.params.id, and you will get these things from this. If you have many things like one more is like slash colon let's say product ID, then you again get them also like this, just by write the const product ID equal to request dot params dot product ID, and you will get here, let me write here the 100, and here also console.log product ID, right here this one. Now just send here, I get the user ID and 100 AS, means you can send any kind of data in from the request.params.id. And this is how request.params work. Now next is the request.query. Request.query, sometime data is sent in the URL after a question mark, like this search question mark, name is iPhone, and price is 500. So these are the commonly used for things like searching, filtering, or pagination, and Express automatically collect these values and store them in the request.query. So let's see a example for this. App.get a path is search, this take a request, response dot send, and here is the request dot query. Now again our server will restart. Now here, instead of this just write here search question mark, name is the, let's say, mi, and price is the 500. See, when I write here the colon, or means this question mark, this Postman automatically detects that the params, and let's click the send button, and I get name is the mi and price is the 500. So that means Express collect the query parameters and store them inside the query. So this is mainly used for the filtering or pagination and searching operations. Now let's come to the last one, the request.body. Request.body is used when the client sends the data inside the request body. Request body means it used like this usually happens in the post request, put request, patch request, and for example creating a new server or updating a profile, submitting a form. But to use request.body, we need to enable a middleware first, that is the express.json, this one. So let's first see here. First I have to enable a middleware. I already tell you in the last video I cover the middlewares. So first you have to write app.use this express.json, and here you have to write let's say app dot post, and here write the users and a request response, and make a new user const new user equal to request dot body, and response dot send new user. And now let test in the postman. Now this time we have to select the post, and the path here is the users, and go to the body section and write the form raw data, and write into the as a JSON format. You have to write here the JSON format, means JSON format is keys are also come in the double quotes, like name is the John, and the second query is the age, let's say 25, and pass send the button. I get the name is the John, age is 25, and this come from the request.body. So this is the data came from the request.body, and Express store it inside the request.body. So let's see the difference between the all the threes, means compare them. Here the request.params is used for the URL parameter like ID, means whenever you try to select a product from the e-commerce website, so that product has an ID, and that product has an ID means the server take out and give the whole information about the specification, about the all the dates and about that. So request.query is used to for the query string. For example, the username a column means question mark and name is equal to John, and request.body is used for the request body data, and this is used post request with the JSON data, post put these type of things. And now let's build a CRUD API using the memory array. So this will help you understand how these are used in the real applications. I already built this, like here I write the app.post the users, and let's create a new array here. First comment them. Now let's let users a array of object, ID is the 1, and here name is the John. So a single value inside this. Now first create a user, for that app dot post that users, and here request respond, and const new user equal to request dot body, and users dot push this new user, because I have no dedicated database this time. From the next videos, in the upcoming videos we introduce the MongoDB database, so that time we will do the CRUD operation on the real database, but this time we are using the just a normal array. And here also response dot send this user added. Now let's test this. Let pass this user added, I get okay, and I get the response here user added in 2200 for the okay. Now let retrieve the data, app.get users, again request response dot JSON, and given to the users. Now let's see get, I get the data here, the ID is in 1 and name is John, means because in this user data I have only one this data, this one object. That's why. Now let's say app dot get users. Now this time get by id, request response, and this time const id equal to request dot params dot id, and const user equal to uh, for that users dot find by the id, means a single user. U dot id is triple equal to if that id or not. If yes, then response dot json that user. And let's say add one more object here. That id here is the, let's say, 10, and name is the Jane. So let's regain the all the data. I get the 2, and now this time pass the id also. What happened to this? App.get. Okay, I forgot to add the slash here. That's why it's not completed. Now what happened? Response.json is the user. I get the user data or not. First console this. Let's again resend the data. Open console, undefined. Why? id is it 10, then why it is not detecting whether I am getting the id or not. That's why that's how you debug in your real life project. I'm getting the id, then why I'm not able to get the id here? U dot id is double equal to id or not? Do you know where is the bug here? From the request, I get the id, right? Like here I get the 10 id, but remember from the client side you will get data into the string format. It does not matter whether you are passing the 10, whether you are passing the Jane or John, means a string value or number value, all comes into the string format. Like I write here type of id, I get the string. That's why I apply the triple equal, and triple equal check both the type and the values. So that's why it's give the error, means it does not give any type of data. Now apply the double equal and try to again. Now I get the id, but remember, first you have to convert your id into the number format. Means a number format means the format that you are storing into your database. You have to remember this. You have to first check what is the type of in your database of that id, whether it's a number or string. If it is number, then convert your request.params.id and check it. And that's why in the real life development we use the TypeScript for the better means not means at that time we are not confused because of the TypeScript. Now let's see one more thing is the updation. App dot put, and here users and the slash id, request respond, and here again get the id equal to request dot params dot id, and you have to first get the updated data equal to request dot body, and const user equal to user dot find, sorry, users dot find u dot id is double equal to that id or not. If it is, First we have to check whether that user is present or not. If it is, then user dot name equal to updated data dot name. Else send the uh, response dot send user data updated user updated, and you have to put into this here, and else response dot send invalid. Now let's try to put. Now here we are using the both the request.params and request.id. Let's say in the this URL you just write the 10, and in the body give here the, let's say, Alice, and press the send button. User updated. What happened to this? Cannot set header after they send to the client. Okay. Now let's check again. User updated, and this time console.log for your verification. Just write here console.log, and I get name, and now the name is the Alice here, and last one is left is the app dot delete, and here we have to get the users and the ID request response const ID equal to request.params.id, and users equal to users dot filter, use the filter method or in the JavaScript, and filter by the ID. U dot ID is double equal to, oh sorry, we have to filter out that is not equal to that ID, and response dot send users. Now let's see, now see the delete, and let's try to remove that 10. I get only one data from this. So this is the CRUD operation on the simple data in a normal array, in a normal data. So we see get user by ID, update the user, delete user. So today we learn what request data is. We learn how to use req.params, req.query, req.body, and finally we built a simple CRUD API using the Express. And these concepts are very important when building the API. So make sure you practice them. And that is for this video. You will get the whole complete code in the video description. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to JDCodebase, and I will see you in the next video.